This is MJ. I'm an author, I'm an artist, I'm an analyzer. Find all my work at mjmunoz.com. Henshin Inspection presents Super Sentai Sanctuary. I will be discussing, is there a right and wrong way to be happy? This is Super Sentai Sanctuary episode 24, Find Happiness. Avataro Sentai Donbrothers episode 24 was originally, which is called An Ensemble Son by some, was originally aired August 14, 2022. The writer is Toshiki Inoue. The director is Hiroyuki Kato. So, first bad thing I want to talk about is, who was this episode really about? Why not focus on this weird double Jirou thing as opposed to having it be in the background? Positive thing. Haruka killing Taro with her wife play was funny. How many times has he kicked or thrown her? Maybe she'll get to kill him with maybe she'll get to kill him with a lie a few more times to even the two of them out. I think that would be a lot of fun. And then Haruka's faces are classic. It's hilarious to me that she has internal monologue that completely matches the silent facial expression she's making, and yet she persists in being quiet and then making these ridiculous faces. I would give this episode a score of a 6 out of 10. It was decent. It made sense. I laughed, I cried, I hurled. It had some issues with clarity, and it kind of felt like some of the ideas just were slapped together, but it was entertaining. It was entertaining overall. I didn't really dislike it. I hope we get to see... hold on, give me a minute. Tora Dragon Jin in a different AR world. That's a crazy name. Tora Dragon Jin. Man. Because he's a... What? A tiger, a dragon, and his name is Jin. Is it? No, it's not. It's Jirou. Momotani. Anyway, Tora Dragon Jin. I hope we get to see that guy in a different AR world. Because I didn't like seeing the same exact world used. It threw me off that they reused too much footage in the fight, and like probably 30 seconds or so of this like 2.5-3 minute fight were reused footage, and that was too much. And it wasn't, oh, it's the same fight animation or cut in scene from the last one. It was literally done once and then once again. So that was crazy. And then him fighting in the same place it threw me off. So if all you want is the score, to know what I liked, to know the good and the bad of the episode, feel free to jump out here. I'm going to go into my reflection on, is there a right and a wrong way to be happy? I'm going to talk about that for a few minutes. But before I do that, actually, if you don't want to jump out and you want to hear what was the worst thing, the best thing, the most, interesting or frustrating or curious thing about Donbrothers 24, then stick around for that segment that I'm going to drop in right here. These are made from separate previous recordings that I did and that I'm releasing in short form elsewhere, TikTok and such, where they're short videos, work. And then I'm including them here in the body of this episode. And then after this, you'll get to hear my reflection. When you're done with those, if you want, you can jump out, because then I'm going to talk as a writer and as a creative and as a person who's thinking about stories and gets a little philosophical sometimes about this concept of happiness, finding happiness, and when is it happiness a good thing and a bad thing, and all kinds of stuff. So anyway, enjoy these 3 segments, and then I'll get into the big juicy topic. The worst thing in Donbrothers 24 is the whole parental issue. The mother and son, I can't remember her name now, but whatever, Koichiro, and I don't know. I don't remember her name. Sorry. I'm just going to say the mom and the son. So I don't know. Like, it was funny in the moments where they showed that Saruhara and Tsuyoshi, like, obviously have undealt with mother issues. Like, that was funny. I appreciated that. But at the same time, you had some weird stuff happen. So, Koichiro turns into Hitotsuki. His mom somehow recognizes him as the Hitotsuki, possibly because he's saying that he is, like, searching for purpose, or, like, can you give me a reason to live, I think is what he says. And somehow she recognizes that as her son. Maybe she hears his voice modulated or whatever through the Hitotsuki. I'm not sure, but whatever, it doesn't matter. But then later on, after he's been purified and cured, saved by the Donbrothers, and he is no longer Hitotsuki, she sees him off in the distance, and I think she smiles, and then she turns away. I thought for a moment she was going to go to him, but she lets him go. And he had run away, and she wanted him back, and then she was pretending that your boy Taro was her son, and going along with this, you know, weird charade, which is odd in and of itself. But more so than that, I want to focus on the fact that, like, they had these interesting elements. She recognized him, she let him go, and then he comes back, and apparently he was being pressured by her to be this great pianist or whatever, and we don't get to see her reaction. We hear him come back, and he's, I don't know, groveling is the wrong word, but it's what's popping into my mind right now. He is begging to come back and be accepted by her again, even though she's the parent, she's the adult, she's the one who has the burden to teach her son how to be a man. The father's gone, we don't know why, but she has the burden of teaching him how to be a man, how to be an adult, and she's demanding certain things of him. And you could say, well, the pressures that she puts on him will help him turn into a man. Yes and no. Yes and no. There's a chance that he's either going to break and become the bad kind of man, or he'll turn into the right kind of man and be forged in the pressure of, you know, the fires of his mother being... That sounded weird, but whatever. I'm going to let it go. But the thing is, it never addresses it. It just kind of pretends it's okay. It papers over the whole thing, and it pretends it's all right. Yeah, I'm very dissatisfied with this. It's definitely the worst thing. Like it was an okay episode. This actually, the more I thought about it, the worse it got. The best thing in Donbrothers 24 is the really cool design of that ninja Hitotsuki. I've not been super... There's been like maybe 3 I can think of. So the ninja and the bat are the only 2 I can name off the top of my head that are really cool designs. I mean, the bat was creepy. Anyway, but the ninja was really cool. Had a very sleek design, very aggressive. Felt like a ninja. Like I knew what it was instantly by looking at him. Probably. I mean, they showed him running in the ninja, and, you know, going Naruto, right, with the moon behind him and stuff. So, like, you know, that definitely helps. But yeah, I felt pretty confident that, you know, oh, this is a cool ninja guy. And then he goes around slashing people, including, you know, just random adults and then a little kid. But regardless, still a cool design, great monster design. I thought it was really cool. I really loved, speaking of the slashing, that effect that they did. I believe, for the most part, like when he grabbed the swords from his back, well, they was like behind him, right? When he grabbed the swords from his back, they probably weren't doing a speed effect there, or speeding up the footage of him doing that. But then it looked like it was a really interesting shot. I feel like they green screened the ground where the people were standing, and then they probably one at a time had the people fall down, and then they composited them all together in that shot. And I think even the ninja guy got composited into the shot too, because the way I looked at it, before he runs off and attacks the kid, which the kid's totally off frame, so he goes, you know, that way, and then all of a sudden he's over here. Sorry. You know what I'm saying? It looked like he, you know, it could have been a day later, an hour later, whatever. It wasn't in that moment, and the kid could have been there at any time. So I'm just saying, through the magic of editing, it looked like he ran off from where that guy was that fell down to where the kid was, but who knows? But really what I'm saying is, through even more magic of editing and through, you know, video software, they were able to have that ninja guy running somewhere else, and then have these people doing the effect on their own, and then they melded it all together. You know, they layered it and sandwiched it together, so that we got this cool shot of him going, you know, zip, 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 slashing through the 3 people, and then running off to get the kid. And it was cool because, like, you know, it's tokusatsu, so they're using special effects the way that they know how to, inventively and creatively. He slashes them. I noticed in my screenshots, like, there's a purple flash and like a slashing, a purple flash on the screen that goes in like a slashing, and that's it. That's the effect of the guy getting hit, but there's also sound to it, and it makes it feel like, oh, that guy really got hit, just like the other ladies got hit. And then it cuts away, and then you see clothes being thrown on the floor, and it's the outfits of the 3 people that got hit. And I love the design of his suit, and I love the technique and the design of the shot that had to be thought of in order for that to work. I don't know, part of the magic of tokusatsu is that they do that kind of stuff, and I just love how crazy Super Sentai is, and how imaginative and creative they are as a necessity of how they're doing things. Anyway, I just thought that was really cool. That was definitely the best thing in Donbrothers 24 for me. So the weirdest thing in Donbrothers 24 for me was the fact that they reused so much footage. I don't know what was going on that they felt they had to reuse footage, but the central screenshot here, it shows like 1833 and 1830 and 1933. Those are the timestamps where Jirou is putting together his tiger and dragon swords again, recombining them, and I don't understand why. I don't understand what they're doing. I don't understand, like, did they not have enough stuff going on in this episode? Even the little bit of the joke or the gag where the tiger is missing and it needs to be recaged, which led to this, and they like flash on it and you can see the tiger's there, the tiger's not there, the tiger's there, the tiger's not there. Like, that was kind of cool. That was kind of humorous. It was an inventive idea, and it feels like something from anime for sure. Like you'd see the perforated lines around them, like the ghost of the imagery of in a manga, you'd see that sort of thing. But you know, but it's not. Anyway, like I don't really get what they're doing with some of the stuff, and I absolutely loved the fight that they did last time, and I love the unique setting for it. I love the choreography. The choreography this time was decent. It wasn't bad, but there was just the repetition of that section, and there was which honestly the first time they put the big Don Robo Taro combination, I can't remember what it's called, together, and they had them all yapping and saying different things. Like it got a little irritating like the second time, and this time where he's, you know, patting the cage again to keep the tiger calm or whatever, it kind of bugged me. I don't know why the repetition bugged me, but definitely what bugged me was he was fighting in one place, and then at the end he jumped back in stock footage to be dancing in another place and then posing in front of that like Chinese palace or whatever with the, you know, the round doors and whatever. Like, I'm also bugged by the fact that he's not going to appear in other places, I guess. And I do not understand why they're restricting him in these certain ways, unless I guess each mecha. No, it's because the villain is the one that produces the AR world, not the mecha. So I don't know. I don't know what they're doing. I didn't like it. I didn't like all the repetition of the fight. It, you know, definitely kind of, you know, dragged it down for me. And I don't know. I don't know what they're doing with Jirou and why they're dragging out his story either. So that definitely bothers me. So that's the weirdest thing. It sounds like it was the worst thing, but it wasn't. It was the weirdest thing. The worst thing was this mommy issues topic and how they handled the parent-child stuff really, really badly. And anyway, I don't know. Just strange. Very strange. So that was, like I said, oddest thing in Donbrothers 24 for me, for sure. Okay, thank you, earlier me. Now it's time to talk about, is there a right and wrong way to be happy? And originally when I made up this question, I didn't think it had much to do with the rest of the body of this episode. I just knew there was some core in there about happiness and finding happiness. And I think as I talk, I'm going to find out more and more, but I'm going to try to keep myself to less than 5 minutes on this. So here we go. Is there a right and wrong way to be happy? Why am I talking about this? Because the episode's about happiness. You've got the mom and the son. She wants to be happy by forcing her son to be a pianist and, you know, do other things. Moms are weird, so, you know, she wants her little boy to whatever, right? I'm not saying, like, you know, anything sick or wrong. I'm just saying, you know, moms like their sons to treat them a certain way and to cherish them and things like that. And they get a lot of that when the boys are younger, and then as they grow up, things change, especially when, you know, romantic partners become involved as the guy gets older and he wants, you know, a woman of his own and that kind of thing, right? So you've got that dynamic between them. So you've got the mom who has her little boy who she's trying to force to be a certain way, and he runs away because of it, and he seeks his own thing. Something happens. He's interdicted by somebody, Hitotsuki somehow, and he ends up becoming one. Maybe he was starting to become one under his mother's influence, I don't know, and then he finally ran away, and it happened, and he's been off, you know, trying to find out what the meaning of his life is from other people, or getting something to live for from these other people who he's attacking, right? So, anyway, and I guess the solution would be, if he'd found somebody who did give him something to live for, he wouldn't have attacked them, and I don't know if that would have cured him or not, but we saw, like, with the guy last time who wanted the story to be told to him, he would hear a satisfying story from a person and then just leave them alone. So, I guess this guy would have been similar, but anyway, you can't, somebody else cannot give you something to live for, you got to find that on your own. So, that's getting into my point about, you know, finding happiness. And I think having what to live for is going to make you happy. So this guy was lost and didn't know what to do with himself. So there was conflict between him and his mother, and it ultimately led to him fleeing from her, right? In the end, he's able to come back to her, and I won't go into that because I've already talked about that earlier. And, you know, he promises that he's going to do the piano thing, but I don't know that that will make him actually happy. And I kind of like this idea that the Super Sentai, while they can save this guy from a life of being this, like, marauding, attacking ninja guy monster, they can't save him from having a bad life with his mother, and they can't fix the problem for him and make him take accountability for himself and have the hard conversations with his mom that he needs to in order to tell her, I don't want to be a pianist. I want to do something else with my life. So I think that's actually pretty cool that while they're, you know, saving the lives of people, they're not actually solving all their problems through the power of, you know, Donbrothers or Super Sentai or tokusatsu. That's actually a pretty cool and pretty interesting thing. And it's bringing me to my larger point, which is that happiness, there is a right and a wrong way to extract or to be happy, and I believe in that because of my morals, and they guide me to this answer, which is basically, if you're harming others or harming yourself in order to feel temporarily happy, to like add happiness to yourself, that's the wrong way to go about it. Happiness should be something that comes from within you and that is generated within you through some sort of positive action. And what I mean by positive action is I mean doing something that's not only morally good, but that is beneficial to others. I think that's the true source of happiness. And I think that is actually exemplified by like Taro wishing the mom lady that she can find happiness, and him like learning to play the piano for her and rubbing her back, and those different sorts of, sun type things. I think those are part of the message and the idea of what the story is all about. And I feel like there's definitely supposed to be a parallel between the conflict that's happening between mother and son and the conflict that's happening between the two Jiros, and maybe even the conflict that's happening between Taro and Saruhara. Because Saruhara starts this thing where he wants to make sure that this woman is taken care of, that she's comforted from the loss of her son. So he's thinking externally, and he wants to do something for someone else in order to help her. And he ends up walking away because he has a disagreement with her. And to me, it surfaces some issues that he has with his own mother. And Tsuyoshi goes ahead and does the same thing, which maybe it means they were coming from the wrong place, because they were the voice of this, sham son. Ooh, I like that, sham son. That sounds cool. Anyway, they were the voice of this sham son, while Taro was the face and the body. And Taro didn't want to do this stuff all along, but in doing stuff that he didn't really want to do all along for this woman who he was pretending to be the son of, he ended up sort of being happier. It reminds me of a principle of, if you act as if something is true, it will become that way for you. And I've heard that about negative things as well, that, if you do something that's not good for you, but you're just pretending or just playing at it or whatever, it can actually develop and manifest, so to speak, for you in a negative and harmful way that will, detract from your happiness and wholeness. So, in this instance, I don't believe Taro ever had a mother who he knew, but he is playing son to this woman, even if he's not doing it really with his own voices. He's, pantomiming it basically and doing different things. So, gosh, I don't know. Is there really some message about acting as if and how that can lead you to happiness, or alternatively to sadness? I don't know. And there may be a parallel there between the conflict within the Donbrothers to do the right thing by this lady and provide her the son that she's missing. Although I would think it'd be easier for them to just go find the son with their great powers, but whatever. This led to more jokes, right? So it's the way to go. But no, seriously. So there's a little bit there, and again, I'm thinking as I'm talking, so this is not clear and well defined, so I'm going to skip that and move on from it rather, and talk about the Torabolt and Dragoku conflict and parallel to this. So Torabolt, the Tiger Jirou, wants Jirou to be a certain way. He says that he's holding up the rest of the crew, he's holding up the rest of the Donbrothers, and while Jirou wants to be the hero, he's kind of always been pining away. This voice inside of him has always had him sort of pining away at this idea or this ideal life of being a hero and being the hero who will save everyone. And we've seen that as that dream and desire and voice is ignored, that he has become more and more aggressive, and that this entirely actual personality and entirely different entity within him somehow has become manifest. And it is is it Don Torabolt? The tiger guy, right? I guess he's Don Torabolt as opposed to Don Dragoku. And Torabolt is a completely different person who has his own will and opinions about things in his own way, and he's very aggressive, and he's a go-getter. He's absolute drive to get and do what you want, and in that personality, or in that person, Torbolt is willing to, attack and fight and kill the other Donbrothers so that he can be the hero. He wants... I was sorry. I've watched Spider-Man so many times, I was thinking, so many good things happening for you. All for you. And who do you think made that happen for that? Whatever. You get what I'm saying. It's the Willem Dafoe mirror scene from Spider-Man. Anyway, but that is kind of what it feels like. And it kind of feels like they're these two different people, and I wonder if they will eventually become two different people, or what's going on. But I also think that exemplifies the fight and the struggle between the mother and son, and the mother and son struggle is almost more of like an analysis or a way to look at, how are you going to be happy? Are you going to be happy by pushing what you want on other people and kind of living vicariously through them? Are you going to be happy by not being hassled by your ma, by just doing whatever she tells you to do, and inside you're dying and hating it all along? Are you going to do that, or are you going to run away? Because both, honestly, sitting there and, practicing at the piano for hours a day when it's not what you want to do, that is a form of running away. And it's running away from yourself, and it's running away from your truth. And then you're, the opposite of that, or, the alternate to that presented in this episode is physically you're running away from your mom, so you're out from under her control, but she's still your mother, and you still love her. And even if she's not the best mom, there's still, there's still a bond, as Taro might say, and a connection between the two of you, and you're dishonoring that bond by running away, as opposed to saying, hey mom, I'm going to leave home, I don't want to do this. That third way that I presented of having the conflict and having the confrontation and having a resolution to it is the way to go, where you are honoring who you are and who your mother is, and you're finding a way to work that out, even if it's difficult, even if it's hard, even if it's uncomfortable, and you have to hurt her a little bit because she's not willing to let go of the things that she's trying to put on you. And it just flashed in my mind that I should pretend that my mommy issues are surfacing now, and then I storm off, but there's no way to make that joke work, so I'm not going to do it. Anyway, yeah, I think maybe honestly it's hard work to be happy, and it's hard work to find happiness, and it's something you have to discover, and it's going to be individual for every person, and you got to find what works for you to make you happy while doing good for others and not hurting them. I would think is the rule. Like if you go through life with that rule, trying to find your own happiness by not hurting other people and by thinking about how you can be happy doing something, or how you can do something that benefits others that you enjoy doing, maybe that's the real path to happiness. I don't know. Anyway, I'm not an expert. Well, I'm not a philosopher. I'm a lay armchair philosopher, and that's all I have to say. That's all I'm going to put on this Japanese children's show. I'm not going to try to make it do any more hard work than it's already been doing, selling toys and whatnot. So I'm going to go ahead and sign off and get out of here. I would ask that you check out my Futo PI analysis that I'm doing over on Half Boiled, which is another part of Henshin Inspection presenting stuff. We got Half Boiled going over there for the Futo PI anime, and stick around. I'm still slowly releasing exclusively in video version, though not an audio only yet. I'm going to do an audio only, a podcast version of this later, of my coverage of Swan's Masked Rider. So you can check out my my reactions to Masked Rider, where I'm talking about kind of the best, worst, and most interesting thing from each episode of that show as well. And I'll have other stuff going in the future. I have watched Godzilla, and I am writing a children's book, which is one of 5 children's books based on Japanese stuff I like, sort of. Basically, like generally based on tokusatsu. I've got a 5-book series of children's books, picture books, coming out. One of them is going to be inspired by Godzilla, then Ultraman, then Kamen Rider, then, you guessed it right, Super Sentai. And honestly, the 5th book, I'm not sure. I'd love ideas and input. I'm thinking about Digimon, though, because I love Digimon, and I feel like Digimon's kind of a interesting fusion of Super Sentai, Kamen Rider, and Godzilla, with a little bit of Ultraman mixed in there if you really want to, all into one. Like, it's a weird toku isekai anime that, like I said, I feel like it very much plays off of Ultra Kaiju, or, well, I guess Kaiju generally, but, maybe more generically kaiju and less Godzilla, but I think, you know, Godzilla started it, then Ultraman picked up the ball and ran with it, and, you know, Kamen Rider and Ultraman, or sorry, Super Sentai both added their own things to it, and I really like Rider and Sentai. Those were my main jam for like a decade, you know, like starting about 13 years ago, no, about 12 years ago. That was my main jam for a long time. I've gotten in a little bit into Ultraman, as you can find, if you look around the website, you can find my analysis of Ultraman stuff. But yeah, I'm just going to keep adding more and more. I've got these Toku-inspired children's books, and then I've got my superhero universe that I'm going to be working on slowly but surely. But I'm really hoping that I can sell and make some money off of these Toku kids books, and that I'll be able to use that to fund other things and to make myself more available to do even more analysis, because I really enjoy doing that. So anyway, check out mjmoose.com to check that out, or to, you know, find my other analysis stuff, as well as my writing. And that's it. This is MJ. I leave you with peace and blessings. I'm signing off until next time. Take care, folks. This is a part of the Story Over Everything initiative.